Ken Winslow with the Quality Early Education System. I'm going to talk to you today a little bit about the staff files and how we can help you as keys when it comes to putting them together, of course, getting you ready for your inspections, your routines, and renewals with Hillsborough County's chakra licensing. Now, to begin with, we look at having possibly, if you feel comfortable doing this or maybe helping you out, having a staff file checklist. And definitely you can just go one by one, putting it in whatever order you would like, of course, starting off with your actual staff volunteer sub form or your application should be the first thing that we look at, or that licensing will be looking at. And then, of course, with your staff file checklist, however you want to do this, in whatever order you want to do this, is fine. Just make sure that you do it the same for every single file. It will make it easier for your inspector to do the files once they come to do your inspections. Now, of course, as I mentioned before, the first thing that they will be looking at will be your staff volunteer sub form. And of course, you know what this looks like here. Most of you do use this already. And for those of you that do use your own, possibly a corporate daycare that has a different form that looks like this, if you're gonna do that, please make sure that at least the information you see on Hillsborough County's application is listed on your own that you may use. Or of course, if you just want to have this one on there as well, that could definitely help out your inspector. Second thing that they're going to look at is your child abuse and neglect form. As you see here, please keep in mind this is an annual form that needs to be done. My suggestion is to go ahead and do that around August or September when you're doing the forms for the children files as well. After all your staff, make sure that they do this. The next thing is we're gonna have is your clearinghouse. I don't have, for personal reasons, obviously we don't wanna put anybody's information out there. You wanna have your clearinghouse that has the picture on there for your inspector to see. And then of course, if you're a school readiness provider, they do look for the other form that has the little check mark that a background check has been completed as well. Next thing we look at is your training log. You should, if there's not too many of them, have your the actual certificates that come with those trainings on here as well. And you do want to keep 2 years worth of these logs in your file for the staff. The next thing that we're going to look at, I don't have an example of that either, is the transcript. And of course, on your transcript itself, we're looking for part 1 to say yes, part 2 to say yes, and then the very last line, which is your literacy portion of your training, it needs to say a yes as well. And for those of you that are school readiness providers, we do look at the OEL trainings, which is through the collaboration through University of Florida. There's 12 hours of those. And if I'm not mistaken, I believe those are for the individuals that have no hours whatsoever. Before they can be in a classroom by themselves, they do have to have those 12 hours. Next thing we can look at in there is going to be, I'm just cheating off my little list here for you guys, it's your CPR and first aid, if applicable. Now, of course, licensing does have rules to how many staff in the center, when children are present, have to be there. Of course, my suggestion, go ahead and have everyone done with their first aid and CPR. It just makes the process a whole lot easier for everyone involved. The next thing, of course, is your attestation. We are very aware of what these are, right? Keep in mind that they sign in the right line, and this no longer has to be notarized by anyone. Okay, so they just have to make sure that they sign and that that is in the file. For VPK, I believe it's once a year that they have to do that because they will be looking at that as well. Now, for those of you that have drivers, we need to see their physical. Now, some physicals that are done, you can use this one, which is the county's one, the Hillsborough County one that they use. You could possibly find others that the doctor may have for you. Now, for those of you that it says 2 years or that it expires in 2 years, licensing requires you to have it done every year. So it has to be an annual form done for the driver. And then keep in mind, of course, the driver's license for the driver has to be a Florida license and it cannot be expired. All right, guys, again, I'm Kenneth Winslow. Thank you so much for watching our video. Have a great day.